What is going on? Welcome back. This is the live recording of episode 97 of the Client by Client podcast. If I can get my iPad to work, we'll get this show on the freaking road. Today, we're talking about group coaching mistakes costing you clients every month. You might not associate the two with how well your business is doing, but boy, let me tell you, they're pretty correlated. And by the end of today's episode, you will know exactly why and how to turn that all around. Today, over on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, episode 88 just went live, where we talk about critical daily tasks to take your coaching business to the next level. There is a doing component of being a successful coach. In episode 88, we talk all about it, top to bottom, what you must do if you do nothing else in order to grow your online business. So be sure to go and tune in pod.link/clients for access to the Client by Client podcast in your favorite podcast player. Let's hop in and let's do this. Hey, what's up? Jeremy here from whatupjeremy.com, back with another episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in today. In the last episode, episode 96, we talk about, do you really need more client getting strategies, or is it something else? So if you have not already tuned in, be sure to backtrack one episode. If you have been implementing everything, you've done the webinars, you've tried the podcast, you're trying out ads, you've tried ads in the past, you've done a couple things and they've worked and they've stopped working. What is it that needs to change? You just need another strategy, or maybe it's time to think from a different place and from a different perspective. We talk all about it and make the argument for and against more client getting strategies, or maybe something else. So be sure to backtrack one episode to hear that, to episode 96. On today's episode, I want to talk about group coaching mistakes that are costing you clients every single month, maybe even keeping you stuck below 5, 10, or 15K a month. So let's hop in and let's talk about it. The first mistake of group coaching that's costing you clients every single month, first off, is just not doing it. It's not having a group component to your coaching program, or straight up just not coaching in groups. And so there are some of you right now who your original idea of coaching was doing one-on-one coaching, and that's totally fine. And hey, and if you're at 30K a month already and you're absolutely loving it, then like, more power to you. Who am I to say what's best for you? However, many of you will get on calls with us, you will chat with us in DM, chat with me in the DM, and you're doing one-on-one and you're charging by the session. You're charging well below high ticket. You're charging below $2,500 for even 6 or more sessions at a time. And that right there is one of the easiest ways to prevent yourself from getting clients, because every single time you sign up a new one-on-one client, it is a big win for your client, and you get to win too, but you don't get to win nearly as much. And when you win and they win and the world wins and the people that they help win, now we have the recipe, and better yet, your other clients win. Now we have this quadfecta. Is that a word? Quadfecta? We have this quadfecta of everybody winning. That when every new coaching client you sign up, the entire group wins and all ships rise in a high tide. And so if you are still doing one-on-one, or you started in one-on-one with the intention of getting a group and you just haven't shifted yet, the shift to group coaching is probably far more simple than how you might be thinking about it and how complex you might be thinking about it. This is exactly what we do in the Get Clients program with any of our students who come in as coaching one-on-one only, or coaching one-on-one primarily, with the desire of scaling and having the ability to grow. Again, if you have this mastered and you're above 30K a month with one-on-one because maybe you're charging 10K per client per month, more power to you. I'm going to make a case for some other reasons that you might be holding your business back that you could also leverage just in exactly what you're doing right now. But the first big mistake that's costing you clients every month is just only sticking with one-on-one. Guys, I am not against one-on-one as a money bucket. There are 4 primary money buckets for online coaches, if you're not familiar. The first money bucket is one-on-one. That is the least amount of leverage. The second money bucket is VIP, which is where you have like a VIP experience. Maybe it's in person, maybe it's on Zoom. That is a great method of cash injection. Also a little less leverage than some other opportunities. The next money bucket is a group coaching program. And this is where you have a 6 to 12 week program, and you can really enroll students at any point in time. You don't have to use the launch method for it, so it makes it quote unquote evergreen, and you can constantly inject new students into it and be an open enrollment. And then underneath that, you have the fourth money bucket, which is a mastermind, which is a limited seats, higher point of entry. and therefore giving you more leverage and your students more leverage. And so those are the 4 main money buckets. And I am not against you leveraging any individual or all 4 of those money buckets throughout your 12-month year. However, if you're only leveraging one of them, and if the only one you're leveraging is one-on-one, what you have to know right now is that's getting you the least amount of leverage, and you can be doing far less work and getting more revenue and impacting more lives just by getting out of that money bucket. So the first big mistake is just not doing group coaching at all. The second big mistake is that when you start group coaching, or if you're group coaching right now, it's poor positioning. It's poor positioning with your clients, and it's setting the wrong expectations. So a lot of us, when we switch from one-on-one to group, because most of us make that transition, most of us don't start in group, and I'd be lying to you if I started in group. However, there are ways that you can position with your current one-on-one clients, if you have them, or with every new client that you go out and attract in for one-on-one. There's a way that you can position what the group component might look like one day, what you want for them to think about it for right now, and setting the expectations for how it's going to look right now. Or you could just set the expectation that it's a hybrid and it's a group style program on top of the one-on-one. And that can just be icing on the cake for someone who just thought they were getting one-on-one coaching only. So the poor positioning here is you're probably building value around the wrong parts of your program. So let's say right now you're doing one-on-one, or you are going to run a promotion that includes one-on-one coaching. You are building too much value around just the one-on-one. And when you think about it, guys, when you extrapolate this, big word alert, when you unpack this, one-on-one, it always seems like the thing that your clients and that you are going to get the most out of. But in all actuality, if you run a group program and you run it well, and you really create an environment where you don't just say that all ships rise in a high tide, but they do. And when you sign up a new client, everybody wins, and they do. Well, what will end up happening if you were to interview, and if you interview your clients upon their exit of your program or towards the end of your promised window of time collaborating with them and coaching them, is that if you ask them where they got the most value, an overwhelming majority of them are going to point to things like the other students in your program that they got to meet, the other friends that they now made, and the Facebook group or the community aspect of your program, or maybe it's a curriculum. And while the one-on-one is great, and it might make you feel like a little like, darn, like I really thought I delivered, and you're crushing it now, and you know the one-on-one really helped them. Well, sometimes the value, and I would dare say most of the time, the value that they're really going to get that lasts them far beyond the limited time they have with you is going to be the relationships they made with other students in your program and the bond that they created with them. And also, that's what creates a sticky program where your clients becomes customers for life. They make a custom out of buying from you, and they don't want to go anywhere else because their friends are already in the program, and because they're already implementing your plan, and you have so much more vision for them and so much more to accomplish together. So like that's also part of the positioning is on your sales calls when they're in one-on-one, you can say, hey, the first 60 days, you're going to have unlimited one-on-one. Or you're going to get up to a call a week, or you're getting a call every 2 weeks. It's 30 minutes, just me and you. And then you're also going to get the weekly group call. And you might say, here soon, we're launching a weekly group call, office hours, where you can come and get questions answered. You can come and just stop in and check in and get your next action steps and report on your progress. And you can say, that's not out yet, but we're going to launch that here over the next coming months. And what that allows for you to do, if you're just starting to get clients, or you just recently got a client, is that gets you on the hustle of going and attracting in your next couple clients, doing that same positioning. And now you have some one-on-one students that you're able to connect with. And like that gives you ideas for content, that gives you ideas for emails and for posts and for testimonials from people that worked very intimately with you. And then that sets you up to stop positioning one-on-one when your schedule has become too cluttered and your freedom has become a little bit restricted, because every time you sign up a one-on-one client, that's time out of your calendar. And that's time that you have to spend away from like marketing your business. And we always talk about the opposite of that, right? Like every time you got to go out and spend time marketing is time away from your clients. Well, if you're only able to spend your time with one client at a time, that's also not the biggest win in the world. And so what you really want to be thinking about here is how you position, we're starting this thing, and I'll let you know when it happens. And you could do that for the group call that you're going to add in if you haven't done that yet, or you can even include that for the Facebook group. Maybe you just got your first client or your first client in a while, and your Facebook group or your community is absolutely dead silent. Well, what you can do is say, we're launching a community aspect to it, and when that launches, I'll let you know. And what's cool is that's going to be no additional cost for you. That's how you position it. It's an added bonus is, hey, when we launch this group, it's going to be where all of my students and all of you guys can come together and collaborate and really grow together. And so we're going to be launching these new components here soon. And that's going to be of no additional charge. You're going to get that as added value. One, because I believe in you. Two, because I want to reward you for signing up here today and for being one of my students. And so you're going to actually get that as a little bit of a bonus. And so I'll let you know when that launches and I'll add you in. We'll have a small conversation on one of our upcoming calls and then we'll get you in the group. I'll let you know, like I'll personally give you a tour of where everything is at. And then what you're going to notice is that every new student that adds in, we're going to throw them in the group and then we're going to start building our curriculum in there as well. And so now we're going to have all students just together kind of in a room. It's a place where you can check in. It's a place where you can get help even beyond the one-on-one. And what this is going to allow for is for all of us to collaborate. You're going to hear questions other students are asking and getting the answers to those questions that you may not have thought considered. And then you're also like, their wins are going to rub off on you because when they win, we're all going to share them in the group and we're going to have you share your wins and your lessons learned in the group so that everyone can learn through you as well. And so I just picture everybody growing at an even faster rate. And so I'm so pumped for it. And that's going to be no additional value. Right now, the issue is that you're dancing around and thinking that the group aspect of a coaching program is less valuable than one-on-one, when in reality, that's just your thought, and you are putting the seed of that thought in your client's mind. Whereas if you position the group program and group coaching differently, they might look at it, and they probably will look at it as the most valuable thing they got, and they're not dependent on you anymore. And now you've created a situation where all ships really do rise in a high tide and where people want to be a part of your group program and pay the rate you're asking and positioning, which is never any less than $2,500 unless you're just getting started, closer to $5,900 minimum for a 6-week to a 6-month program. And now you just get comfortable at that positioning. And on the sales calls, you just all of a sudden show up to one of your next sales calls and just position that the group program is $5,900 for 6 months. And you eventually get down to saying it's $5,900 for 6 weeks without blinking, without flinching, without anything. And then you can just ask and I can get you, or you can just say, I can get you started on American Express, Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, whatever's easiest for you. And you can let them decide what's easiest for them and enroll them in. And then voila, you just got your first group client who's super stoked and ecstatic, and one-on-one wasn't even a part of the conversation. The second mistake you're making is around poor positioning. Get intentional and get specific about the parts of your program that you're building value around, and your clients will start to perceive those things as valuable, and then also make them valuable. Don't just do that to position it. Actually follow through on that and make a program that even exceeds those expectations, and where they think that you were even holding back and being light about it, and now they're going to feel like that $5,900 was really worth $59,000, so to say. Mistake number 3 comes down to your group coaching calls, and that's how you're opening them. And the difference here is, if you've been used to one-on-one coaching versus a group coaching program, it's a similar skill set, but it's different. And so what this might look like is, instead of one-on-one dedicated attention, you're more like the DJ at a party. And everyone has their own specific songs and requests, and you are being the disc jockey playing songs and creating a vibe to each of those different requests. And when you get a question for someone or a request from someone, you're handling it in such a way where they know that's coming up and that they're in the queue, and just to vibe out to what we have going on right now and to listen in, even if you don't have this question or you didn't request this song, because you might just have a great time in the process. You might just get your question answered in the process. And so all of this starts with, just like a sales call, it's about how you take the wheel. When you hop on your Zoom call and you hit admit and you let your students in, you got to start out at the top, hands on the wheel, in control. And so the way I recommend doing this, and the way I do this in the Get Clients program, is I hit admit and I say, hey guys, welcome in, hands on the keyboard. Where are you coming in from today? What's the weather like? You asked maybe a fun question. Then he said, we're going to get started here in just a minute, but while you're hopping in, I want for you to get grounded and present with what has been your biggest win. And when you have that in mind, I want you to, with a capital W for win, drop that in the chat and then drop your win right afterwards. It doesn't have to be that you got a new client, that you hit 10 or 15K. It could even be a small thing. What were 1, 2, or 3 of your wins throughout the week? Go ahead and throw that in the chat. I might even put a timer up with Ecamm. I might just say, I'm going to put a timer, and I'll put a little timer here. You have 2 minutes. Think about the last week and what were your biggest wins? What is something that we can celebrate here today? No win is too small to celebrate. And so now you're opening it up on a high note with some wins. And then once everyone has thrown their wins in, and this is easier with a smaller program, you have an advantage with less clients to say, hey, Jim, haven't heard your win yet. Hey, Andrew, what's going on? Waiting for your win. We'll get started once we have Andrew's win in the chat. That's what that might sound like. Batch, what's going on, bro? Great to see you. So I'd wait for Batch's win to come in, and then I'd read out loud and celebrate. And even if it's not, you got 5 clients, and even if it's not, you hit your first 15K or you hit 15K for 3 months in a row, we're going to talk about what's next. It's like, wow, you showed up today. You're alive and breathing. That's a win. Let's all take a second, congratulate Batch over in the chat or something like that. Once you do wins, then you're going to do a mental reframe. This is what I do, at least. Come up with your own flow or model mine and just take mine. Next is sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. What's been a big lesson over the last 7 to 14 days or since the last time you checked in here with me? What's been a major lesson that you've learned? Throw that in the chat. Use an L in the beginning so we can differentiate the wins from the lessons. And what's been a big lesson that you learned? And what this is going to cause is, like, there's an infinite amount of scenarios that can happen that are frustrating and that can even be painful. That gives your students a chance to say, you know what, this thing sucked, but here's the lesson. They have to sort and sift for that gold. Over in the Get Clients program, we just got done with a training on, of all things, allowing. How does manifestation work? How does bringing your vision to life actually work? And we talked for 30 minutes on just the idea of how do you allow for the path of least resistance to allow for what you're wanting to just happen in your reality. And there are an infinite amount of painful things that can happen. And one of the things that you can do is think about the Think and Grow Rich and the outwitting the devil idea. With the seed of something bad comes the equal seed of something good. But unless you go looking for it, your attention's going to be on all of the bad things. But when you get intentional about, hey, this bad thing or this perceptively bad thing just happened, what's the good in it? It gets you grounded and present and gets you looking for that thing, and then you find it. Because in the moment, you know not. Some of the worst things that have ever happened to you and me turn out in the future to be some of the best things. You got bullied in school. For me, I was chubby and overweight and fat, and I was very insecure about it. But that has catapulted me now to understanding what health really means and redefining it and creating a plan of action and living and being and doing a whole different set of things than what I was taught and handed down. It wasn't genetics. It was through actions. It was through the fork. And so I changed what was on the end of that fork and how I thought about it and what went into it. And I'm at a whole different place because of it. And I'm so thankful for Fat Jeremy. I'm so thankful that Fat Jeremy got picked on and got made fun of and was super insecure, because that makes me so much more confident in the things that I'm doing now. And that got me to a place of figuring it all out. But in that moment, there was no way for me to be thankful about it. I couldn't put a smile on my face if I wanted to about that part of my life. Sometimes in the moment, it's the worst thing ever and it turns out to be the best. And then sometimes the best thing ever turns out to be the worst. Think about a previous relationship that didn't work out. You have that puppy love phase, right? You get the honeymoon phase, and then reality starts to kick in. And then you have differences in opinions and frustrations and heartbreak and divorce, God forbid, or any of those things, right? But way back in the day, she or he was the best thing that ever happened to you. And now it's turned out to be the biggest headache ever. Some of the worst things turn out to be the best, and some of the best things turn out to be the worst. And this gives all that to say that this gives your clients the opportunity to have the mental reframe and start to right now on that call with you, look for that piece of gold. And for some people, that's worth your entire coaching program. And they did it all in a group environment. Mistake number 4 for group coaching mistakes that are costing you clients every single month. If you got any bit of value from this episode so far up to this point, you got to drop me some love or a like or a simple screenshot and a repost your story and tag me at WhatUpJeremy. Would love to share you out and would love for your insights and experiences to bring this show to even more coaches and help me to accomplish my mission and maybe give you some love and maybe even some leads by sharing you out to my story. Mistake number 4, group coaching mistakes costing you clients every single month, is you're not leveraging your assets. Think about how in mistake number 3, when we talked about the opening of a good group coaching call, about how I alluded to what we're doing over in the Get Clients program. Just got off that call a second ago. And so I take what we're doing there and I leverage that to bring you guys some value. And maybe one of the 2 of you that listen to this show will be thinking, wow, that allowing call is like that art of allowing. They always talk about that, but I don't even know what that is. They just did a 30-minute call on that topic, and they did models and they drew it out, and they just focused in on that one topic. That would be super useful. And it's in terms of getting coaching clients, and I'm trying to manifest this stuff, and I just can't figure out why something isn't working with coaching. Maybe I should send Jeremy a DM and see what this whole case study thing is about. Maybe see if there's a spot for me. Maybe see if this is the right thing. And so you have to also leverage the things that you're doing. And that could also go for, like I mentioned at the beginning of this, if you're doing one-on-one, stay through, because there's going to be a bunch of things that you could use to get better at doing one-on-one. One of those might be is after you get off a call, hop on a story and just record what was that biggest insight? What was that aha that you had, that the student had? And if you're looking for these same sort of insights, don't hesitate to reach out for help. I don't care if it's me or someone else. Get the help that you need. Just thought I'd bring that to you today. Thanks so much. Leverage what you're doing. You might even go so far as to take clips from your group coaching calls or your one-on-one if needed and use those as your content. Don't let them go to waste. I could take that allowing call and I could just offer that as a lead magnet. I can go to the Leverage Coach group right now and I could say, just did a 30-minute training on the art of allowing and how to get clients easier. Who'd like to see it? And I could just take that call and offer that as a conversation starter. And now people are going to get a little taste of what it's like in the Get Clients program. Or I could go into the Leverage Code group and say, hey guys, we just did this training over in the Get Clients program, and I thought it'd be valuable enough that we talk about this one component of it here today. And then at the end of it, say, if you want access to all 30 minutes, then send me this word and I'll get you a copy of the call. And now I can have a conversation with them and see also if they're looking for some help and follow up with them once I give them the link. Or I can say, if you'd like some help with this, I want to carve out 30 minutes together to break down what this art of allowing will look like for you and your business and how this can bring in your vision a little bit faster and give you the worksheets and the templates that we use inside of this call 100% for free just for showing up to the call. And then it's free because I know a few of you will be interested in what it might look like to work together, and I'd be happy to explore that together. But more than anything, I want to get you these things and develop a plan together, and you can go and implement it on your own, which is totally cool and still a win for both of us. And if you're interested in what it would look like to work together, we could talk about that too. So just DM me this word or go to this link and book this call. Lots of ways that you can leverage in what you're already doing. So you have to be leveraging your assets. That could be on the story. That could be me going and writing an email afterwards to talk about allowing and the 3 points we talked about. And if you want a copy of it, or if you've been in a negative state, then now it's the time to shift. Signed, Jeremy. And then it has the store tour strategy, which it's one of the pillars of the Get Clients program that says, whenever you're ready, here are a few ways I can help you grow your coaching program. Subscribe to the show, become a next success story, work with me privately. And then now people are going to read that email, get a bunch of value, maybe they just respond and say thank you, which a lot of you guys do, and that brings a lot of joy to my world. And then some of you guys say CRM, and then some of you guys say group, let me in the group, or some of you say, wow, I needed this right now. And then we have a conversation, and maybe that leads to your next big insight. Maybe that leads to your next 3 to 5 clients. Maybe that leads to a fruitful relationship for both of us. But in the moment, I don't judge those things. I just try to give value. All of that starts with leveraging what you're already doing and taking what you're doing in your group coaching program or even your one-on-one and leveraging that to attract in more of your ideal prospects. In the next episode of Client by Client, I want to talk about what to do if your friends and family don't support your vision or your online coaching business or just you as an online coach. So be sure to circle back tomorrow to episode 98 to understand what to do if your social circle doesn't support you as an online coach. Whenever you are ready, here are 3 ways I can help you grow your online business. First, download your free copy of GetBookedCRM. Coaches are used to managing your leads and pipeline from Instagram DM, Facebook Messenger, and your email inbox, where you're losing leads in the cracks and you're leaving clients and money on the table every single month. That's why I created GetBookedCRM. What started out as a free way for me to manage my leads and pipeline and turn prospects into clients has quickly become a favorite tool of my private students and the many members in the Leverage Coach community. Get leads and turn them into clients in half the time. Get it while it's 100% free. For your free copy, all you have to do is find me on Instagram now and send me the letters CRM. Second, join my free group for online coaches. I've got hundreds of coaches from all over the world in dozens of different varying niches, in varying coaching niches, all implementing my methods and frameworks for injecting 3 to 5 clients. Let me start that one over. Second, join my free group for online coaches. I've got hundreds of coaches from all over the world in dozens of different coaching niches, all implementing my methods for starting and growing your online coaching business. Get access to them, access to me, and access to free resources to help you attract in more clients now. For your invitation, all you have to do is find me over on Instagram and send me the word group. Lastly, become my next success story. I'm getting a couple coaches together this month to implement my methods and frameworks for injecting a minimum of 15K worth of new clients or doubling your online client roster base over the next 30, 60, 90 days. But working with the right people is super important to me, so this is only for you. If you are a relationship-focused coach who always puts the person ahead of the money, you've been coaching for at least 6 months to a year, you'd like to get 3 to 5 clients organically from social media every month without wasting money and time on paid ads, you have at least 300 friends on a social platform, Facebook group, or email list, you are willing to take bold action because you know that your success depends upon it, and last but most importantly, you can keep a secret. If that's you, I want you to grab your phone right now, tap that Instagram app icon, find me at WhatUpJeremy, binge on some content while you're there, give me a follow, and then send me the words case study. When you do that, I'll ask you a couple questions about your online business and your vision for the next 12 months. And then I'll share with you what we have coming up this month in the Get Clients program, how we're already helping students from all over the world to implement my methods for injecting clients and attracting them in as effortlessly as possible. And we'll also identify what part of the program will likely make the biggest impact on your online business the soonest. That way you know what to expect. For all the details now, just find me on Instagram at WhatUpJeremy and send me the words case study. That's it for this episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you in the next one. Cheers. Batch, my man, we got some wins here. Win turning a month-to-month client, Grump client, into an 8-year contract. Lifetime value north of 500K, dude. Amazing work, bro. You've been crushing it. Learning client wasn't paying on time, 12K in arrears, pressing my short-term budget. Yeah, you got to get that. That's always fun to deal with and navigate, right? Win was 4K a month to month, now just under 4K for 8 years. Good stuff. Win came from adding massive value to the client. Love hearing that, bro. Doesn't that feel great? Love that so much. Appreciate you sharing your wins here. That means a lot, guys. Join Batch. Drop your wins here. This is your invite. Drop your wins in, whether you're watching this now or sometime in the future. Let's celebrate you and celebrate your successes. It is 11:11. That's it for me and this episode. We'll be back again tomorrow with another one. Hope this one found you well. Hope you got some value from it today. Thanks so much for being here. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.